There has been so much Warhammer the Old World news that I'm a little bit lost. But there's something that I found today that basically puts the nail in the coffin for me actually playing the game. It's not directly related to the game or the rules or anything like that, but let's just talk about it. So the death blow to my hopes and dreams was actually in the article today, which is a designer roundtable on the past and future of the Stone Cold Classic. Sort of reminds me of wrestling. And I'm quickly glossing over the rest of this. Not really that interested right now. And what I want to bring your attention to are the legacy factions. Okay, we sort of knew what the legacy factions were. We knew these, basically the good and the bad guys, as they initially said. We knew that these were going to be the core factions, or the ones that they were going to get proper rule books, probably new models and stuff like that. But I assumed that the legacy of factions would be completely fine and playable. And my legacy faction of choice is the Dark Elves. And one thing I wanted to do, and I've bought some models by the way, I just haven't had time to build them, was to make my Dark Elf army that I didn't have, that I really wanted, like actually fully, properly, the colours I wanted, etc. I wanted to do that. Now technically I could still do that, but I wanted to do was to build them and take them to tournaments. But the key news here is that these legacy factions are not tournament legal. Now, of course, they could be, but that's not going to be like official Games Workshop tournaments. So let's just read it a little bit here. These legacy factions will, however, get free downloadable army lists so you can try them out in the new system. There's going to be more on that in the coming weeks. And you're like, all good. Please note that they won't be considered legal for tournaments and won't receive ongoing support. Now, the last bit was obvious, right? But the bit here about them not being legal for tournaments, that sort of shatters me, because whilst I am going to be a casual if I was ever going to play the game properly, what I wanted to do was to take my ideal Dark Elf army casually to tournaments. I was going to say get drunk, but I don't drink, so that obviously isn't going to happen. But just casually play the game over a weekend, laugh, roll some dice and stuff like that. Now I suspect that the community will just ignore this. If these armies are actually balanced, then I suspect you'll probably be able to play them. But yeah, if you are a fan of these and you wanted to actually take them to a tournament, or at least the official Games Workshop one, then that's not going to be the case. And there are some very, very popular factions here. I mean, I'd say pretty much everything here is super popular, to be fair. Or at least from my perception they were. Maybe not as popular as some on the, you know, the actual core factions, but yeah, super popular. And I know, like, logically it didn't make sense, but to have them be not tournament legal, oh, I just don't like that. One thing I want to say is I sort of disagree with some of the wording here. They're like, yeah, come with this long-term journey, all well and good. These are the ones to collect. And we wanted to be pretty clear on that. Do you know when you could have been pretty clear on this months ago when you actually announced the good and the bad factions? As far as I'm aware, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, they did not say at that time that they wouldn't be tournament legal. The only thing that they'd said with that, I think with the base sizes, if you kept them on the old bases, I think they said they might not be tournament legal depending on the tournament. But I mean, just not having these legacy factions in tournaments and events, I don't know, it feels wrong to me. And it sort of shatters one of the whole reasons I even wanted to do this. Yes, I could still build the models, right? But that actually comes on to the second point. The reason I've not been making videos and stuff like that is just simply I've been super busy. Family stuff over Christmas, work stuff, I've just been super busy, right? And nobody can deny that wargaming is a hobby that generally takes quite a while, you know, to assemble the miniatures, paint the miniatures and all that kind of stuff. It's a passion of love, really, rather than quick, easy, cheap thrills. And this just makes me even sadder, just seeing that I can't even play them if I wanted to. So it's sort of like a double whammy at the minute. I got double whammied. I got IRL'd and then I got wrecked by Games Workshop doing something I didn't see coming. Yeah. It's a little bit sad. There's loads of good stuff going around as well. There's loads of, you know, nice miniatures, Bretonian box sets. The rules look interesting. I think Games Workshop have got videos and all that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, they got all these articles that I just didn't cover that, you know, I probably should have done. But ultimately, I'm sort of glad that I didn't, because I don't think I would have hacked it. Even if I had the time, I think this might have been so devastating for me. I mean, it's not that I'm not interested in some of these factions. I could actually enjoy a lot of these factions here. For example, I could probably play Empire, probably the Dwarfs, probably the High Elves, although that sickens me considering I wanted to be Dark Elves, and probably Warriors of Chaos. They're my sort of like favorites of those bunch, I would guess. But I don't have the same passion for them, which is fine. If you play any of these and you didn't play any of the legacy factions, you're probably not asked, right? You don't care, you're just happy. But if you were a legacy faction enjoyer, maybe you might only have armies that are these armies, and you might only be able to get to tournaments occasionally and not have friends to play with. My friends would maybe occasionally play this game, but it'd be so infrequent. I'd rather go through a weekend tournament and have my casual games. And I just sort of feel like they took it away from me a little bit. Now, I know that there will be tournaments where they're legal. Let's be real. Like, there will be tournaments where they're legal. And to be fair, if I hadn't had this issue with time, because like, at the minute I just don't have the time, right? My focus is on my other work, then I might still have just plowed through. I might have just gone absolutely balls to the wall, bought some Warriors of Chaos or something. But yeah, I think this is going to really hurt a lot of people that maybe you didn't see this coming, because I didn't see it coming. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. To be fair, I probably already rambled enough. But yeah, the simple fact is, one, I didn't really have time, and two, they've now made my faction that I really like sort of feel like it has a little bit less value. And that doesn't make me want to then pick up an army that would be included. Sort of does the opposite of that. If this is to be my last Old World video, and I'm not promising that, I have no idea. If I end up having more time, then I might jump in, especially if the rules look good, which, yeah, everything's looking all right so far. Then I just want to thank you all. It's been a pleasure. Couldn't see the end of the journey when we started, and it's a little bit of a shame, but it is what it is. Honestly, I might look to play like a skirmish game just in my own personal time, because it's just going to fit my lifestyle a little bit better. But what I really hope is, if you're not affected by this, or you are affected by this but you're going to just play anyway because maybe you're playing with friends, you're not going to tournaments or what have you, I really, truly, really, truly hope you enjoy the game. I hope it brings back all that nostalgia and all the joy in your hearts. For now though, have a most beautiful day. Goodbye.